The following internet radio show may cause explosive intermittent diarrhea. Please listen at your own discretion. You've been warned. You will crap your pants real bad.
Whoa.
ASB Stuff Radio is back from the dead, literally resurrected from the viscous phlegm of Albert infected lung. We have a lot of stuff to catch up with and destuffocate. Today is Saturday, April 2nd. Joining me from distant lands are my two stuffologists, Steveocrates and Paulato. Welcome, guys. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
Is that a combination name, Stephen Paulato?
Steveocrates and Paulato.
Steveocrates.
Or Playat. No, Playall.
And
Playall.
you're Alberstotle?
Alberado.
Alber.
It's very, you can't tell what their actual real names are, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we missed a few weeks because someone got really violently ill.
I got violently ill with what started off as
The theory was Steveocrates got you sick, but that actually was not what happened. Science proved you wrong.
No,
Once again.
I got violently ill from what started off as a flu, but then it turned into a bacterial infection. This disease just penetrated into my right lung and filled it up with fluid.
Yeah, but who said it was a flu at first? Did
Father, our doctor,
Kraus diagnose you?
pathologist dad.
A scientist?
That's not proof.
No,
You
but
have to get the actual.
I went to the doctor, and the doctor said that it probably or most likely was a flu, and then it turned into a bacterial infection.
Kraus frowns because you have to get the actual lab test result.
About what? The pneumonia? I got chest
What
x-rays.
the virus is and the pneumonia and.
I got a chest x-ray.
Maybe it was the Zika virus.
Probably. There was my mosquito stuck in my right lung. But man,
is your head gonna start to shrink?
my lung felt like it shrank.
Oh.
Lung effigy. I don't know, but it was horrible. Horrible.
Lungophily.
If you thought the flu was bad, try pneumonia.
Next time, try pneumonia.
Try pneumonia if you think the flu wasn't too bad. But it started making me. I thought it was healthy. I thought I had a great immune system, but apparently not. I was just completely deprived of my physical.
Not enough meat.
Not enough meat. I need to eat blood, flesh from an animal.
Flesh would have helped you, huh?
Yeah. But it did make me think. What? Speaking of animals, perfect timing. Made me wonder. What is health? What does it mean to be healthy? And for me. Health is what you don't realize what you have until you are physically and mentally suffering from a disease. I mean, you take it for granted. I don't know. Usually I just go with the flow and I don't even think twice about it. But this really made me think twice. Like, wow, I really miss being normal. But, when your will is constrained, you're not able to do the things that you want. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was debilitating.
Debilitating, yes.
You're almost helpless.
Yeah, and I think the antibiotics made it worse. I mean, obviously they helped, but the side effects and then just makes you feel weird. Just alters your state of mind. Because it affects your body, then it affects your mind, and you just like,
It's not natural.
So are you thinking
It is
those
altering your
Western
body.
drugs?
Yeah, I had to. I had to. And our doctor father said, Albert, if you were 80 years old, you'd be dead. Oh, thanks, Dad.
That's comforting.
Yeah, right.
What a comforting father.
But I
figure.
guess what he was trying to say is, because you were healthy, you were able to survive. Because the doctor downplayed my whole lung being infected, but our dad's pretty much said, "Wow, your whole right lung, that's not good. That's pretty bad." I'm like, "Oh," he said, maybe because you're pretty healthy, that the doctor just didn't think it was a big deal.
So the plant was the plant diet, right?
The plant diet, maybe.
Plant-based diet.
Yeah. That probably helped. But here's a quote from Pythagoras when I was doing some research on health. And he says, "As long as man continues to be the ruthless destroyer of lower living beings, he will never know health or peace. For as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. Indeed, he who sows the seed of murder and pain cannot reap joy and love."
Please clap.
That sounded like Jesus in the Bible.
Was that God speaking
That was
down
God.
to us?
That was a white ancient Greek man, old man, who resurrected just
Very
now.
wise.
Yeah. So I thought,
Well, he was. Yeah.
interesting, because I had that thought, a similar idea, and I wanted to ask Peter Singer when he was here in Arizona. I wanted to ask him if he knew of any, empirical evidence or a causal connection between human violence, factory farming, and our desire to eat non-human animals. Maybe the reason why we are so violent and angry is because of our flesh-eating tendency. But
It probably plays a part.
maybe, yeah.
Sure, if we did not kill animals, we'd be less likely to kill people.
Yeah, I think so too.
But we don't eat people. Some people do, but
Yeah, some cultures, they devour their kin. Sibling, you look delicious today.
what's for lunch?
Oh, Fred's limb.
Not sure it works exactly like that. But yeah.
But anyway, I'm better now. I'm feeling better than I was 2 weeks ago.
Jeez. 2-week hiatus.
Still have a little cough.
So what did you do in the meantime? You couldn't teach, huh?
I had to
Couldn't,
cancel
do your
classes.
normal activity.
I had to cancel classes for a week.
So these students were deprived of their education because of your pneumonia?
Partially. I did have the strength to develop assignments online through Blackboard.
Oh,
So they were probably, oh man, god damn it.
Damn Blackboard and the
Damn internet.
internet. Al Gore. Damn it.
can't
Damn
get
Al
away
Gore.
with anything now with this technology.
No. And it sucks for me too because I want to rest. It seemed like more work to create online assignments.
Like, yeah, you got pneumonia? Don't worry. You can do it online.
Yeah, do it online. Do all that work.
Just keep working.
Yeah, just work. Don't rest.
It's not like you're 80 years old. Come on.
Yeah.
Your lung can continue to recover while your brain is deprived of its rest.
Still have one lung.
Yeah, right.
Still have one good one.
I did have to grade papers while I was sick, which made it even more excruciating. Because even when I'm not sick, it's bad enough to read horribly written papers. So,
Hopefully none of your students listen to this.
Well, they won't know your real name,
yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Error Bottle.
Albert.
Error
Bottle.
Bottle.
We'll never figure it out. Sounds like a robot
Yeah.
or something.
So, anyway,
Philosophy bot.
philosophy bot. Yeah, I'm a robot. Philbot. Okay. So other rants that I had. So, what's the deal
We got
with?
to transition.
I have a little
Is
mellow.
there a rant intro?
Random rants. You gotta do the random rants. Random rants. You gotta do the random rants.
But what's the deal with sports fans?
What's the deal?
I am sick and tired. I just can't stand spring training anymore. I'm sorry. I can't enjoy watching a baseball game without having to witness ignorant stupidity and beer guzzling fanatics.
Well, what you call them is bras, right?
But
Isn't that
Bras.
Bras?
the full name? BRAH, bra.
Bruh, like bros, but
Bro,
they're not
bro,
just bros. They're I don't know, just people drinking and acting stupid and saying stupid things, and I'm thinking these people are probably voting for Trump.
So, yeah, that's exactly what you see. It's
And
all
it's-
over the
And it's
place.
depressing. And am I the only person that enjoys the idea of baseball and watching the game being played while everyone's being loud and obnoxious? They use baseball or sports as an excuse to socialize and not even pay attention to the game. And how did alcohol get involved? And not only that, but politics and the national anthem and military stuff. Like, Jesus, Mother Christ.
Well, that stuff was always there from the beginning because, they started the started baseball in the United States. It was the oldest sport created and established. So that sort of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of why is alcohol such a part of the game? Like, you can't, no sporting event unless it's college, I think, you can't go without having alcohol involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when the sport was invented, I think the way they recruited players was to go out to the local pub and ask, "Hey, who wants to play? Anybody available?"
Is that true? They would go to the pubs?
They do some of that, Paul?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well,
To get drunk people to play sports? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Babe Ruth was notorious for just drinking all the time and going out and playing a game.
Well, maybe there's a historical root. But it, man, just ruins it for me.
But I mean, it wasn't that serious way back when the sport was first invented. It wasn't, people didn't take it that seriously. So it was, in fact, just a pastime. It was just sport.
Yeah.
So you have folks now who aren't drinking. They're just they're just drinking on the sideline watching. So now it's highly specialized. The people that the professionals that play it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the drunkards not playing.
Yeah, they're not
anymore.
playing. Right?
Yeah. They're just drunk on the sideline, thinking that they could do better.
It's depressing to see fans. Like, remember, Steven, we went to that one game and that guy was just completely obliterated. He was just passed out, like just leaning over, closing his eyes. And I was just thinking, man, this guy's just going to puke everywhere. And I don't want to be here when it happens. Well, it was a distraction.
I don't know what he does for his professional life, or he gets money to survive off of. But what he does for fun is do that.
But I think, I don't know, this is a revolutionary idea. I think they should just separate beer, alcohol, and whatever from sports. Wouldn't that be nice, just to have sober people to enjoy a baseball game?
Nobody would watch.
But that's
like, they have
the whole
a hard
point.
enough time as it is because people are so bored with baseball. It's so slow.
Then why even
get
involved?
It wouldn't be lucrative. Wouldn't generate money.
So I guess we are the only three people that actually enjoy watching baseball.
No, there's people out there. They're harder to find amongst the ocean of drunkards.
I will have a beer, but that's it. Whatever. Not even. I'm not going to go overboard, and
it's not much fun.
Again, there's a compromise between sloshed or hammered, and then somebody who's a complete geek or nerd about the game. You don't want two geeky, nerdy people because there's not enough around to make money off of.
So you got to get them somewhat drunk. Profit. So it boils down to money and profit and ignorance.
Yeah.
But I still think they should eliminate the national anthem. Let's just get rid of patriotism, politics, and sports. I mean, otherwise, why not have the national anthem while you go into the grocery store, or while before I go teach?
That's an anarchist.
Before I teach philosophy, all right, let's all say the national anthem, or before I get my car, or before we do any other activity as a whole group of people, and I don't know, whatever.
Because there have been athletes in the past who refuse to stand or put their hand on their chest during the anthem.
Really?
They've been ridiculed.
Wow.
They've really received criticism, and people really frown upon that. You're shunned.
But that's
almost
the thing.
Like it should be banished from all sports because of that.
I just don't see that maybe there's, like you said, a history behind it, but that was the past. I just think we should be focused on playing the game.
But idea of groupthink. If you can get everybody thinking on the same lines, being as drunk as everybody else, just drinking this Kool-Aid of national anthem and the stars and stripes and being proud to be an American, then then everybody will continue and march on and be in that matrix. Lock into the matrix.
Steven, by the way, sounds like he has pneumonia in his mouth. Okay, another random rant question, I guess.
Random rants, random rants. You gotta do the random rants.
Is Jesus a zombie?
Is Jesus a zombie? Wow, we just lost
so-
our Christian
Did
audience.
somebody write, you know how they have that Pride and Prejudice in zombies? So like the Bible and zombies.
The Bible and zombies. There you go.
We lost our Christian audience. Come back.
I don't think we even had a
didn't mean it.
Christian audience. So
Yeah, probably not.
no, it just
So why would you, what does that question come from?
because it was Easter on Sunday. What was that? March 27th?
27th,
Or
29th.
27th.
27th, yeah.
27th.
And I'm just like, okay, so what is Easter? And Easter is where Christians celebrate Jesus's resurrection, coming back from the dead. Literally coming back from the dead. So I thought, just a random thought boop, popped into my head, and I'm like, don't the zombies come back from the dead? So therefore, Jesus is technically a zombie.
Well, he's the only zombie.
The only zombie?
There's no such thing as a real zombie. It's
Well,
like
is it that zombies come back from the dead, or are they just... Because I thought the way you become a zombie is you're infected by some type of disease, or you're bitten by a zombie. I don't know. How does that work? Is it like vampires?
Right. Okay, that's a good point. So maybe zombies were infected.
It is a virus of some kind.
And if maybe they're not they didn't come back from the dead. I don't even think they're alive. They're
the undead.
Undead. Okay, so maybe then.
Oh, that's semantics. I think, Paul, you're onto something. They're not. They're still alive. They just don't.
They're not fully dead.
The part of their mind that controls consciousness is gone.
So they're not conscious then.
No.
All right. So then Jesus would not be a zombie.
Yes.
Okay.
Post-resurrection.
So the only thing that they do have in common is that they resurrected somewhat.
Yeah, that would be something in common, but that doesn't make you a zombie.
Now, the other thing is that zombies do enjoy eating human bodies and drinking human blood. Mm-hmm. And Jesus encourages his disciples to eat his body.
He encourages his own. He doesn't even like to do it himself, right?
Oh, I don't know, but I know he encouraged his disciples to eat his body and drink his blood.
So he wanted other people to be zombies.
He said, you guys please eat bodies and drink, well, not other bodies, but just his body.
His own, yeah.
But
so he
I don't know if there's
pieces of his flesh.
It's unchristian to eat someone else's body and drink someone else's blood.
Yeah.
It's only him.
So only him.
He's a special one.
I don't know. So I think there's
only eat me and drink my blood. I think nobody else's.
So I think if you were to draw Venn diagrams, there's some kind of intersection, but not fully quite an intersection that would make us say, "Oh yeah, Jesus is a zombie." But there are some similarities.
Part zombie. He's got zombie blood.
Zombie blood. You are going to hell. Okay, you're going to suffer eternal damnation. All right,
that's you. You put this idea.
You are a blasphemer.
That sums it up.
That's an NPR clipped voice.
Did you guys watch that video of that lip syncing Ted Cruz?
That was strange.
That was weird.
I don't know. I found it a little odd.
It was very.
It was more odd than funny, but yeah.
That wasn't actually him, was it?
It wasn't. But it sounded like him, but it was well synced. I don't know how they did that. Whoever did that was a genius, but it was well synced with Ted Cruz, the video of Ted Cruz. It made it sound like Ted Cruz was actually saying it.
And then he'd make these weird elf noises at the end of every sentence.
Yeah.
Like he was a golem?
Yeah. So I'll play that at the end of the show, maybe that clip.
All right, we got to talk about D'Angelo because Paul's got only a few minutes here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Paul, go
Just
ahead.
play that sports intro clip.
Oh, okay, that's right. We're
Right.
gonna do sports talk. Sports talk. Sports talk. Do I have it? 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 Do I have it?
Sports. We're gonna talk about sports.
All right.
All right. So earlier this week, there was posted on the internet a video of Los Angeles Lakers player Nick Young, who self-proclaims himself as Swaggy P,
Swaggy P.
talking to his teammate D'Angelo Russell, who's a 19-year-old rookie. So he was videotaping Swaggy P, pretty much telling him that he's cheating on his celebrity fiance. And I don't know if you know who Iggy, what's her name?
Azalea?
Azalea? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's his celebrity fiance. So he pretty much admitted to cheating on her with some 19-year-old and some other women.
Okay.
And so that video was posted all over the internet, and it was D'Angelo Russell's video. He was videotaping him saying this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, before I get into the public reaction, I just wanted to hear who do you think is wrong in this situation? Who really committed who's at fault here? Who committed a crime? A social crime?
Okay. So
Is
what do you
it
think,
D'Angelo
Albert?
Russell or Swaggy P?
So I don't think I'm following the story. Maybe because I'm slow.
So D'Angelo Russell videotaped Swaggy P admitting that he was cheating on his fiance.
Okay.
Is it the person who admitted to cheating, or is it the person who videotaped
Oh.
that person saying?
Well, what did he do with the video? He exposed it to the public and used that to harm.
Well, not necessarily that he did, but somehow this video got into someone's hands who did leak it. That's
Okay.
not really clear yet.
Okay. So it's the act of cheating versus someone recording someone admitting
Right.
that they cheated, and then that coming out in someone else's hands. And,
Yes. And of course, there's sports bias, perspectives of all this and everything.
So I think there's a distinction between an ethical issue and a political or social issue, the right to privacy.
Mm-hmm. That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah. And
And
Would the-
he's their teammates, right?
Oh, they're
so is he a
teammates.
good friend or teammate?
well, maybe he recorded. Why would he want to record that though? Why would the person want to admit it on tape to begin with?
Those are all interesting questions. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand. Hey, you ready? Let me record you admit that you were cheating.
Maybe he likes Azalea and he wants to get with Azalea and break up their soon-to-be marriage.
That could be.
So that's a motivation, right?
So I would say that the whole act of cheating is inherently morally wrong.
So you would say Swaggy P is more
Yeah,
in the wrong
At fault.
than
yeah, more in the
D'Angelo
wrong.
Russell.
I think that trumps. What is it?
Trump.
And for context,
Trump
Swaggy
support?
P is 30 years old,
Swaggy
where
P's.
the kid recording is 19 years old.
Yeah, and the young little 19-year-old kid doesn't know any better with what to do with his camera
Okay.
recording. But
So
still,
what's
that
your
does. Okay, go ahead.
what's your take, Steven?
I think people think that there has to be a black and white. I think there's multiple faults here. But, I think Russell has, right to try to help out the situation. But again, things have to play out for whatever reason. If there's something wrong between Nick Young, Azalea, then let them be. If that's you got to have a idea that something's wrong in the relationship.
So you're
It's a celebrity relationship. It's in the public eye, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to be issues with that.
Yeah,
So-
as celebrities, you have to accept some amount of risk when you're getting involved with somebody.
So who would you say then is more in the wrong in this situation?
I would say Swaggy P's more at fault because he did. I think cheating. I do agree with Alocrates that you shouldn't cheat. At the same time, you have a trust with your teammate and to maintain your own privacy. So there's levels of fault.
So you're saying there's a level. Yeah, there's multiple. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I turned the TV on that morning, ESPN, Sports Center, same deal. The only opinion that was expressed from multiple sports experts was that D'Angelo Russell did not follow the bra code, the bro code.
Oh God.
He exposed a secret that he should have held confidential because it's locker room teammates. You shouldn't be spreading this stuff out. You gotta be trustworthy. So everybody, and he was booed at the next Lakers game. Everybody overwhelmingly booed D'Angelo Russell, and the teammates were shutting him out, and he had to apologize multiple times in front of the media. And he was just being blasted, and still is being blasted by the national media for exposing this video about Swaggy P admitting that he was cheating on his fiance. So
Wow.
nobody even really said anything about Nick Young, Swaggy P, this 30-year-old, admitting that he was cheating on his fiance. Like, nobody even went there. Nick Young really hasn't even had to answer any questions. Nobody's even asked him about this. So I think that overwhelmingly shows just how skewed and off base the country is right now.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has that opinion. And so it's, I wanted to hear what your take was to see if you're on the other side. The only person in the national media who took D'Angelo Russell's side was Colin Cowherd. I don't know if you've heard him. He's a sports talk guy, but has higher standards of people. And so he was saying, like what you're saying, Nick Young is this 30-year-old guy who should know better. And this immature 19-year-old, he's going to do stupid things. We all did stupid things when we were 19.
Yeah.
We don't really know what we're doing. But this guy who's cheating on his fiancée should be held accountable. And he's the one that is being an influence on this kid. So he has to be held responsible. He has to answer for that too. It shouldn't just be all this kid's fault and he shouldn't be taking all this blame.
Yeah.
So it's just a really ugly situation. I found it really interesting to see how the public overwhelmingly responded negatively against Russell.
Wow. So here's an image of what I'm imagining. So imagine the fuel tank, right? F full, and then E empty. America's moral radar, okay? Or if you have the little thing, the indicator. What do you call that thing? Based on that story, it seems like America is morally empty or bankrupt. They just don't have no idea of morality.
Yeah.
They just
and look at the whole Apple, and this will be a transition when Paul steps out. But look at the whole Apple thing. Privacy is king right now. Everybody wants to defend their own privacy.
No, you're right. I think people. So that's another interesting. Good. That's a good topic. Or a relation. It seems that Americans are more obsessed with their political rights, in this case, privacy, versus morality.
Morality, all right.
And their individuality also, because it's better to divide. That's how you conquer. You divide or make everybody their own person, and the way you do that is you protect their own individual privacy, and so you got to separate.
Yeah, and that makes us even more separated and distant, impersonal. I just look at Facebook, social media. This shows how disconnected we are from people. Understanding moral relations.
You also want to ask the question, in any corporate America thing or anything American, What is more lucrative, more profitable? What angle is going to be better
What's going to sell
for corporate America to make a profit?
How can we increase ratings on TV? How can we make this an interesting story?
How can we increase TV ratings? How can we increase Laker attendance? How can we increase view against TV audience?
And that reinforces the downplay of what really matters, and that is, hey, you shouldn't do what this 30-year-old guy is doing. And that is more.
Instead, we're glorifying that by saying, "Oh, he's fine."
Yeah, don't worry about him. What he did was
he's
nothing.
the one. He's wrong. All these people who are trying to videotape everything, what are they doing? Exposing people? Well, that's terrible. How dare they do that?
And the irony is that we have no privacy. You know, everyone's recording. Big Brother and Google is eliminating privacy. You know, no matter what you do, wherever you go, people are recording you left and right.
Take it back, and this shouldn't even be a story. Who gives it? Who really cares about these teammates videotaping? Nobody cares. And now we're going to continue to talk about it. Now we want to know more about what's going on with Russell, what's going on with Swaggy P, Azalea. You know, that's going to be lucrative in and of itself.
Yeah. But even if you are going to talk about that, why are you going to talk about it in this way?
Yeah,
where
in that
you're,
context.
You're pretty much saying, "Oh, well, NBA players, they're cheaters. Who cares about that? Let's talk about this exposing, videotaping people secretly and putting it on the internet." It's like that's all. If by now in this day and age with social media the way it is, if you don't know that you could be anything you say is going to go out, like even what we're saying right now. We're liable to be heard anywhere by anybody.
Yeah.
You have to know that. So if you're going to tell someone something that you think is confidential, it's not. And you're just an idiot if you think it's that way.
Yeah. It's a good...
you got no friends.
Good debate.
You can only trust yourself.
Yeah.
You should present that to your class, that moral argument.
I should. I'll have to change. I'll just mention the sport names, right? Or does it matter? Do you think?
I'll just do some research. They'll know.
They'll know.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure they all know.
Yeah, I need to do research.
You're the only one in the world that doesn't know.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. These are basketball players.
Yeah,
for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh,
Los
wow.
Angeles,
Okay.
I'm totally famous.
I just like baseball and the Giants.
Yeah,
you're weird.
And I know other teams based on the teams that the Giants play. That's it. So
you're in a little bubble.
You're in a little bubble. You're in a bubble. You're in a bubble.
Blasphemer.
So you got a takeoff ball?
Yeah, I should get going.
All right. So Paul's gonna actually play a game of what do you call that game?
Basket femur.
Basket femur. Basket femur. Basket femur.
Basket femur. Yeah, Hillary.
I need a lozenge.
Go back to the doctor.
I know. Woo!
All right.
All right. Well, thank you,
Paul Ados.
Thank you, Paul Ado, for bringing up the interesting moral topic, political topic, controversial topic.
Controversial.
Yeah.
I'll hear what else you guys talk about.
All politics from here on out.
Is it all politics?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
So perfect timing.
More sports.
Yeah.
Sports is politics, anyways.
Yeah.
All politics.
The national anthem, I'm telling you.
Everything's politics with Trump.
Yeah. Orange face.
There are no politics. Let's just say that. It's all non-politics. It's pop culture.
What's the size of Trump's hands, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pictures of his wife versus Ted Cruz's wife on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I actually need to see that.
I've been sick. I've been out of touch with.
It was an ugly picture of Ted Cruz. Trump tweeted an ugly picture of Ted Cruz's wife next to the picture of his wife.
Oh my god! And he says, "Who's more beautiful?"
Yeah, pretty much. That's politics.
So based on that, we should vote for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a prettier wife. The man's got a prettier wife.
He's 20 years younger, audience.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Get the hell out of here.
On that high note.
I am all stuffed up.
Paul's stuffed up. All right.
All right.
See you,
Bye.
Paulito. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
All righty.
Okay. So what's
All right, so I
What's
have,
next?
I have several things. I have that talk about that briefly. We could talk about the incident with Bernie Sanders and the bird. Did you see that?
no?
You did not. Okay, so it was in Portland, Oregon. Bernie Sanders was giving a speech to thousands of people, and then a little birdie landed on his podium, and everyone was cheering, going crazy, going wild. You would think a bird's gonna leave because of all the commotion, but instead the bird lands on the podium and stays there for about almost a minute or so. And
Okay.
Bernie's just looking at this bird, and he says, "Wow, this is a symbol of hope. We should end all wars." You'd have to see it, to get a good idea of the incident. But let me play the clip anyway.
Okay.
All right.
That if he or she does their schoolwork seriously, does well, takes school. What?
So the bird's coming in.
Okay.
Now you see, this little bird doesn't know it. Oh,
So it lands on the podium, and it's just staring at Bernie.
It's staring at him.
It's just looking at him, yeah. And Bernie's looking at it.
Bird.
What?
That's a loud bird speaking right in the mic.
I think there may be some symbolism here. I know it doesn't look like it, but that bird is really a dove asking us for world peace. No more wars. In any case.
That was a lot of birds there.
Well, not just one.
Not just one. Okay, so maybe I modified it a little bit and edited it and added some bird sounds.
It sounded like a lot of birds.
Yeah. So watch the original clip. There was no sounds. I just changed it up.
Oh,
but
okay.
That is
It was a loud
it was
bird.
a loud bird. I tried to lower it. I couldn't do it, but it was really quick. But I just thought that was
Sounded like he was chirping directly in the microphone.
yeah. It was really bizarre, though. I mean,
Does that ever happen to anybody?
I don't think so. And he's right, though. Doves are a symbol of hope and peace. So, and Bernie Sanders seemed.
It was a dove.
Well, it wasn't a dove,
Okay.
but he said if this bird, represents or symbolizes a dove.
Yes.
And then someone posted a meme on Twitter. Remember that incident of Donald Trump and the eagle? I don't know if you remember.
with Trump?
Yeah, Trump, the eagle. He was trying to take a picture of the American flag and him with the eagle, but the eagle kept attacking him.
Eagle was attacking him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have the contrasting picture of Bernie with the bird, and they're peaceful. Bernie's looking at the bird's looking at Bernie, and there's a symbol of hope and unity and peace. And then you have Trump and this eagle attacking him. That's very telling, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you have evil versus peace.
Yeah, eagle versus peace.
Yeah.
But the bird, in any case, I think the bird detects that Trump is a manipulator, an evildoer, a corrupt politician, and the bird, a little bird looking at Bernie, feels comfortable. He gives out positive energy. I'm sure if he had the eagle with Bernie, they would get along. But clearly, if the public is smart, they would see that, hey, Donald Trump, I like that. Donald Trump is a bad politician. We shouldn't vote for him based on how the eagle reacted to him. We should vote for Bernie Sanders based on how the bird interacted with Sanders.
True. Yes.
So I thought that was interesting.
A trumpeter would say that the eagle was simply, being carnivorous and trying to eat Trump. It's just an animal.
He wanted a taste of
that's what
orange.
Animals do.
He wanted a taste of orange chicken. He's like, you smell like that stuff on Panda Express.
Chicken. Or he was annoyed at the mop on his head. Wasn't he trying to reach for the mop?
Oh, that's right. Maybe, so either his face smelled like orange chicken, or he suspected that Donald Trump's hair was a nest and it contained eggs, eagle eggs. And it was a threat to the mother eagle, and he wanted to attack and remove that goddamn nest from his head.
It could very well be it. So
Or
it
both.
was just the animal trying to be an animal.
Yeah, an animal just naturally wanting to defend its territory. It wanted its nest back, and it was hungry. It wanted to eat some orange chicken with orange spice.
You would do the same.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. So watch the clip of the bird.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Bernie could talk to is a bird whisperer.
He's a bird whisperer. It looked like he was communicating with the bird. And then people called him. So now that he's known as Birdie Sanders now. Birdie
Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fortunately, hopefully Birdie wins, but Grandma has a better chance.
Yeah. Okay, so that leads. Okay, so I don't know if we should talk about the terrorist attacks in Belgium, Brussels. Well, it's not.
We could talk about it
briefly.
I don't know too much about it, but
no, I mean, it's not necessarily about the attacks. We don't have to go into the whole, is it a false flag attack? And because we pretty much talked about that before,
Yeah.
I'm sure ISIS is being funded by the U.S., Israel, or whatever countries. The CIA or FBI.
Well, I have a feeling it was related because the weekend before, they had the police had completed a raid and capped one of the previous terrorists from the Paris attacks.
Okay. Oh, right.
So
That's right.
I think they're somewhat related.
Yeah.
So I think there was somewhat of a
retaliation.
Yeah, there was a retaliation.
Okay.
From the previous because of this terrorist, if you want to so-called terrorist, was captured. Since he was captured, they said, well, before we all get captured, let's relinquish all of our... Anyways, I'm just saying that they're related.
Okay, good. Right, and I'm sure we could draw many connections and try to justify how these terrorist attacks are coordinated, not just with terrorist organizations, but with people who are working within the FBI or CIA. And I'm sure that's heresy and controversial.
Yeah, there's links between government agencies and
a lot of
links between. There's a large terrorist, quote unquote, network out there.
Okay, so it was on Tuesday, March 22nd. The terrorist attack occurred in Brussels, the capital city of Belgium and the European Union. It was at the metro station next to the EU and NATO headquarters, and it was reported that 34 were dead and 200 or more were injured. ISIS claimed responsibility for the bombings. For at least a week, if not more, there was a wide coverage on this particular incident on TV, all the networks, NPR, and the internet, of course. The news channels, they would have music, somber music. Oh, remembering those died in Belgium or Brussels and blah, 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 right? We should really be concerned about those who died in Belgium.
Yes, yeah.
And that was March 22nd. And then on Sunday, March 27th, there was another terrorist attack that occurred in Lahore, Pakistan, at a park where Christians were celebrating Easter, on Easter. 70 were killed, 300 or more were reported injured. Most of those who were killed were women and children. And I believe it wasn't ISIS, but it was a Pakistani Taliban, a terrorist organization or a branch of that Taliban, that claimed responsibility for the attack, saying that they had intended to target Christians, even though, ironically, many Muslims were killed. Okay? And hardly any media coverage. It wasn't really... I mean, it was reported, but it wasn't widely covered. So it occurred to me that our society.
So what do you think is going on there?
Well, for one thing, if it's not an ISIS attack, then we shouldn't really give a shit. But I just noticed that our society, American culture, social media.
What do you think is going on there with the media?
Well, the media is obviously, for me, ignorant and Eurocentric. Notice how we only mourn for those who suffered terrorist tragedies that occur in certain parts of the world, mainly European countries.
My question is...
Let me finish. When ISIS attacked France and Belgium recently, Facebook users all over the world updated their profile pictures with flags of France and Belgium. But when innocent human beings from Syria, Iraq, Indonesia, and Pakistan are killed by terrorist groups, right, these are human beings, we seem to downplay, if not neglect, these horrific acts. Not that much media coverage focuses on these countries.
Well, first of all, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does the media determine what we mourn and suffer and think is horrible, or do we control that?
Well, a large part of it has to do with what comes out of that goddamn tube and the internet. The media is going to focus and emphasize European countries as more important countries or people that we should be really concerned about. They're not going to emphasize Pakistan, Syria, Iraq, Indonesia, where innocent human beings, children and women are killed from the same organization or ideology of hatred. I mean, I just think it's depressing how the media can control and mind warp people into thinking that only European countries matter.
So the general public has been dumbed down by the media, and that
Definitely.
They can't think for themselves, and they don't think. I mean, they're both are tragic.
They are,
and they both deserve attention from every media outlet, but they don't. They don't get the equal amount.
No.
And there's reasons for that. Again, you go back to what is going to be more lucrative.
So you think it's
if you mourn a European country, which is more related to Western civilization, versus a country which is more related to ISIS and terrorist networks and Arabs and Middle Easterns and all that.
Okay, so that makes sense. So then,
right, then
they're worried that so the American networks are worried that if we focus too much on Middle Eastern countries or non-European countries,
if we start to become sympathetic towards them,
we don't want to be sympathizers of Pakistanis and Syrians, brown people, because if we do, then Americans are going to think that we love the terrorists. We love Muslims.
And we don't. We want to build a wall.
Yeah, so if
the entire Middle East.
If innocent human lives are lost in Pakistan, who cares? They're the enemy. Their lives don't matter.
Yeah.
It's only white people are not significant. I mean, just people in Brussels, people in France.
This has been going on for eons back
when?
Thief days.
The what days?
Thief? And peons and servants. And, more explicit back then, but now the media and those in control have to think of more creative ways of controlling the media and showing that those that are not colored, that are not white, are less important.
Yeah. So I did some research, and I was just curious if I'm sure people shared my thoughts, and I did find a short little clip where this guy stresses the point that I made. So here we go.
Yesterday, after the horrible and tragic terrorist attacks in Brussels, many people, to express their solidarity, started putting Belgian flags on their profile pictures. The same happened last November, after the horrific Paris attacks. But few people realize that between Paris and Brussels attacks, there were at least 38 more terrorist attacks in which 20 or more people died. So, if people were to change their profile picture for each attack, this is what it would look like. All in all, between the Paris and Brussels attacks, there were at least 304 other terrorist attacks in at least 35 countries, with at least 2,906 people killed and many more injured. These attacks were all very different, but there was one common trend among all these tragedies. The perpetrators, the ones who killed innocent people, are clear and obvious terrorists. If they appear in any public place, they will be immediately arrested. However, few people know that right in the heart of Europe, in southern East Ukraine region of Donbass, more than 9,000 people have lost their lives in the past 2 years. And the people in the Ukrainian government, the ones giving orders to kill innocents, the ones waging this ugly war against their own citizens, are hailed as Democrats and welcomed in European capitals. The man responsible for the war and the atrocities, President Poroshenko of Ukraine, was himself in Brussels just last week. And despite thousands of casualties, nobody in the West changes their profile pictures for these dead. Their tragedies are simply never reported.
So he's referring to the Ukraine. I'm referring to those who died in Pakistan. The idea is that there are innocent human beings from other countries besides Europe who suffer from the consequences of terrorist organizations.
But the issue is, even after people hear your clip, the general public is so brainwashed that they would actually think that the guy talking during that story he's a terrorist
because of the way he sounds.
Yeah, the clip you played is clearly coming from a terrorist, and because you played it, you're associated with them.
Oh, okay. Because I care.
Why should we listen to you?
Because I care about human beings in general.
I'm sorry, that's how dumb people are. I mean, and the fact is, you have people that are going to be sympathetic to your side of the story. Call it a side, but it's really the objective truth. But people, there's everywhere in the world you're going to find somebody that can agree with. Mm-hmm. We're talking about what is the vast majority. What is the majority right now?
Okay.
And just because the world population is growing at such high rates, you're always going to have somebody that might agree with you. It's just not going to be in the majority.
And the majority,
and you have to control.
Yeah.
You have to contain these minorities, and you have to find different. The people in control, the mighty whiteys, have to find different ways of controlling these other minority populations and ways of thinking, and make sure that the majority consensus is along with what is lucrative and keep them in power.
But the irony is that the majority, it seems to be the opposite. In these other countries, a large number of people, a large number of minorities are being killed and injured.
Yeah, that's the irony, right?
Yeah.
The people that will agree with these mighty white are just like the minority people being killed right now. Mm-hmm. They're impoverished. They don't have any money. They have no hope. And the people who support Trump are the same way. Mm-hmm. They have no hope. They're impoverished in their own countries. They're being controlled by Trump.
Yeah.
Yet they don't see it. They're brainwashed. They're not able to see it.
That's the sad irony, is that these poor, hopeless people who believe falsely that Trump's gonna change their lives when he's not.
Yeah, like if they are just to see the same way, or just to look across the world, that they are in the same situation as these people in Pakistan that are just as impoverished and just as controlled. If they were just to see that they were the same themselves, just for it not the language that they speak, the color of their skin, they are in the exact same situation. Mm-hmm. Yet they refuse because they're brainwashed and they're dumbed down. Mm-hmm. They'll never get it. Mm-hmm. And they're walking into their own graves, I guess, so to speak.
You are a blasphemer.
Uh-oh.
How dare you?
Yeah.
You talk so bad about Trump and the Trump supporters.
And, you compare Cruz to Trump, it's not even close, but they're both idiots.
Yeah.
It's no different than what you had back in the, what do you call it, the castle days? What's that called? Medieval days?
Medieval times.
The medieval times. Back then, they were blatantly killed. At least now we can pretend we're not. We can try to pretend nothing's wrong.
Americans don't have time to dig and do research. They're just going to get information based on what they see on the television.
Just going to go and guzzle a beer and go hang out in Scottsdale.
And ruin baseball for me, God damn it. All right, so we're close to the hour mark. You have to take off soon? Or
yeah, because I got dental.
Oh, a dental stuff. You're going to extract your teeth from your mouth?
Yeah. Yep, and then put them back in.
Put them back in with some false ones. Orange teeth.
False in teeth flavored.
With the Donald Trump initials on all teeth, all your teeth.
Branded.
Orange teeth, orange mouth.
Did you see that? But there's other people that, there's a lot of animosity towards Trump. I mean, just on the other side,
Yeah,
the birdie supports.
I noticed even those that you would expect to support Trump. I didn't really go dig into the stories or do research, but I read headlines that people are beginning to catch on and see Trump's negative side.
Well, if you go to liberal university, then I think there was a small university maybe a couple weeks ago where somebody wrote in chalk Trump 2016, and then I think a student or a parent wrote to the dean or whoever in charge that this is blasphemy that somebody would vandalize our property and try to promote bigotry and how dare that they take control of our university, rise up and get rid of this defective way of thinking. So there are people who are scared to death of
a Trump presidency.
Yeah.
So it's not just Chomsky who's scared.
No. Yeah. There's people who actually at these universities think, but
yeah,
I think it was Bill Maher. What's his name?
Bill Maher. Yeah.
He has his own show, I think, on HBO, and he thought it was just hilarious that people would be scared of chalk writing about, and that's
really?
Another comedic spin to it, because it's just chalk. You can kind of wash over it. So he's not promoting Trump. He's just saying that why have we gotten to the point where our younger generation is petrified of something like that? I don't know,
of Trump becoming president. Why?
Well, all the writing was just chalk saying Trump 2016.
Yeah.
It wasn't doing anything else.
Well, it's just the message that it sends. That's the idea. It's not the fact that it's written on the sidewalk or whatever. It's just the message that it sends is that people want the country to be controlled and run by Trump.
Yeah.
And that's what scares people.
Well, you'd have to listen to Bill Maher's rant.
Oh, okay.
It's a rant.
Yeah. He likes to rant a lot.
Yeah, he rants quite a bit. I can't tell what side he's taking, if he's liberal or kind of
I think
a mixed bag.
Yeah, he's a mixed bag. He tries to be objective, but I think he leans more towards the left. I don't know.
He's slightly left, I guess. But then he has something against Obama because Obama won't go on his show, and he's all butthurt about it.
Oh, because they'll put him on the spot and make him look like an idiot. Yeah.
I don't know why Obama has been on a lot of shows. He won't go on Bill Maher's.
Well, Bill Maher is highly politically charged. The conversations, the topics, and he's not afraid to put you on the spot and make you.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it. Or I don't know.
I mean, he's funny and he has some good points.
Okay, election fraud in Arizona. Did you hear about the story?
Nope.
Okay, again, one of those stories that people just don't know about. So the primary election for Arizona was on Tuesday, March 22nd.
Yep.
A lot of people in Arizona were not able to vote. And the retaliation of the response is that Arizona had devised tactics to repress voters' right to vote. So let me give you a clip from Bernie Sanders where he mentions the voting process that occurred in Arizona. It was just a big mess. There were huge lines. People were unable to vote. Some people were waiting for over 5 hours. Therefore, they were denied to vote. Some people who recently registered to become Democrats, that didn't get transferred into the computer. It was just a big mess. Bernie was expected to win in Arizona. There was a high turnout, and usually when there's a high turnout, that represents people who want change. They want to vote most likely Bernie Sanders, but thousands of voters were not allowed to vote, and that seems suspicious. So people want to accuse Arizona of election fraud.
Okay.
Okay, so here's Bernie.
Well, we got an email last night from a woman in Arizona who was waiting online for 5 hours to vote. For 5 hours to vote. Now, whether that, whatever the cause of that problem is, people in the United States of America should not have to wait 5 hours in order to vote. We do not know how many thousands of people who wanted to vote yesterday in Arizona did not vote. We don't know if they wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, or whoever. We don't know that. But in the United States of America, democracy is the foundation of our way of life. People should not have to wait 5 hours to vote. And what happened yesterday in Arizona is a disgrace. I hope that every state in this country learns from that and learns how to put together a proper election where people can come in and vote in a timely manner and then go back to work. Okay, that's about it.
Okay, so that's Bernie Sanders. And like he said, he's like, well, we don't know the cause of why people had to wait for so long in long lines. And I have a clip of someone from a YouTube channel who nicely summarizes the situation. It's kind of long, though. Here's some of it.
Okay.
So we all know that when turnout is low, Hillary Clinton tends to win big. Now, this was the case in Arizona. Turnout seemed pretty low. But this isn't because people didn't want to vote. They actually did. In fact, potentially hundreds of people, maybe even thousands, left or were turned away because of Arizona's voter suppression tactics. So there are multiple ways in which the state of Arizona has suppressed the vote. Now, Hillary Clinton won by about 18 points and her voters are silent on the issue, but this concerns all Democratic voters. Because if you think that this issue isn't going to affect Hillary Clinton if she does become the nominee in November, think again. So in 2012, Arizona had 300,000 voters participate with only 200 polling places to accommodate them. I'm going to repeat that. 300,000 voters, only 200 polling places. But now get this. So in 2016, the estimated turnout more than doubled, which is typically good for Bernie Sanders. So we would have expected him to win because the turnout in 2012 was 300,000, and this time it was estimated to be 800,000. So it actually nearly tripled. So you would expect that Bernie Sanders would perform much better than he did. But they cut the number of polling places down to 60. That means for every one polling place, there were about 13,000 people trying to vote. Now, in some counties, like Maricopa County, there was approximately one polling station per 21,000 people. I'm going to say that again because this is really crazy. One polling station for 21,000 people. People had to wait upwards of 5 hours to vote. Many of them left. If you have a disability or you can't stand long or you just had to get back to work, guess what happened? You had to leave. You couldn't stay there and vote. So I want to remind everyone, if you're not aware of this, we live in a democracy. This isn't supposed to be happening in a democratic regime.
Yeah, but I get the idea.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're thinking about voting in Arizona and you have 13,000 per, you're not all the votes are going to come in.
Yeah. Okay. So the controversial issue is why. Okay. So Arizona is being accused of intentionally reducing the number of polling stations, despite the fact that they knew that the voting turnout was going to be high. It tripled. There was 800,000 people expecting to vote, and what appears to be a very important election, a very highly heated one. So you would assume that the state of Arizona, or all states, would make sure that there are a lot of polling stations to accommodate 800,000 people. So they intentionally reduced, I think, by 70% the number of polling stations, which logically would force a large amount of people to have to wait long hours in line or to simply just not even bother going to polling stations.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote if that was the case.
And I
wouldn't have time.
Yeah, there were video.
And why do we have to go polling stations. Just let me go click online and get done with it.
That's the other thing. A lot of people in Arizona did not receive any voting materials. Okay, me and Nancy did not receive anything in the mail. Nothing to make us aware of the fact that we can vote through mail. And we've been registered for forever.
Were you guys able to vote?
No. Because I was like, I never got anything in the mail, and I made sure, when you register to vote, that I get my ballot in the mail. So the other accusation is that people who are registered as Democrat, or if you're not registered as a Democrat or a Republican, so I'm Libertarian, which I'm going to change to Democrat because in order to participate in the general election, you have to be either Republican or Democrat. I think that, so the idea is that people who are registered as Libertarians or Democrats did not receive their ballot in the mail. That's what people are saying, at least in Arizona. So therefore, they were denied the right to vote. Those people who were finally able to vote after waiting for 5 hours, waiting in line, they were denied the right to vote because they were allegedly no longer registered as Democrats. And people think that the Bernie Sanders campaign state database was hacked, which would possibly explain why, that the status of your political affiliation wasn't registering.
This sounds like a highly complicated, complex process. So,
but it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but legally it can.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can tell it's rigged.
Yeah,
right.
It's definitely rigged.
So the folks that you have to be the Republican or Democrat, you have to be able to have the time to go vote. So legally, or from that perspective, giving you the opportunity to put in a vote, but practically it's real difficult. So what's going to happen is only the people that are either Republican or Democrat or have a thorough, detailed, comprehensive understanding of how the voting process works is going to be able to vote. Mm-hmm. So it's already rigged. You can already tell a lot of the votes are going to get through. It's sad, but that's how the people in charge, that's how they want it to be.
And that's not a democratic society. It seems that we live in an authoritarian, totalitarian, whatever, mind control.
It just goes back to it's all a conspiracy against the simple folk, and it's true. Why is it any different?
Yeah. It's depressing. It's sad. It's nuts. And so Arizona recently, they had a town hall meeting. People are retaliating. They want to redo the whole voting process in Arizona, but I don't know.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to lead this whole huge, big effort,
a legal battle,
just to get things going the way they should be.
But it's definitely, it's just blatant. And I don't know why this didn't get national wide coverage. This is an important issue, America.
Go back to
this is an important
lucrativity. Is it lucrative?
But this is just important. It's being repressed. It's being denied. The fucking goddamn Arizona state.
What is going to keep the dollars in Mighty Whitey's pocket, letting Brownie Alocrates go to the poll and dethrone the Mighty Whitey man? Why would they let you do that?
But it's not just brown people. It's just people who think on the left. The free thinkers, the liberal thinkers, the people who don't want Donald Trump to win, or people who don't want
to drive
Clinton.
Priuses, right?
Right.
And let solar power take over coal power, right?
Coal power?
Coal
power, yeah. I don't get it. How do people just ignore the fact that Arizona intentionally reduced polling stations when they knew voter turnout increased?
Because Mighty Whiteys don't like you. You have nothing to offer them. Find something that they like, and maybe they'll listen to you.
Bullshit. America, wake up with a sleepy melody. La, 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 la. Okay.
All right.
You want to comment any more on the voting fraud in Arizona?
It's depressing.
It is.
I mean, you should have done your research. I guess that's all that can be said.
I was kind of wondering, like, as the primary election day was approaching in Arizona, I'm like, why didn't we receive? Hey, Nancy, why didn't we receive any mail-in ballots? We didn't get anything. No pamphlets, no notes, no news, no nothing.
Make that call.
And
reach out.
And I was just like, well, I'm not going to vote in the poll. I'm not going to go to those goddamn stations because there are already long lines to begin with. Right? I mean, you want to wait in line for an hour?
Well, let's put it this way: if you haven't voted a week before on per mail, a week before the actual polling, it's probably too late.
Yeah, I knew that.
I think.
Yeah.
Because when you voted for in the other general election for the that was submitted, I think, a couple months ahead of time.
Yeah, they give you time. They give you time, and I noticed as it was approaching the primary elections in Arizona, I was just every day that passed, I'm like, okay, I didn't get anything in the mail.
You already knew from Iowa caucus that they're just gonna flip a coin.
Oh yeah, they're gonna flip that damn coin. That too. That's ridiculous.
So these primary processes and caucus processes are
old school, medieval, prehistoric methods.
Yeah.
With a little number 2 pencil and a pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
And a piece of paper and the little cubicle that you go in. So old school.
Have little kids from kindergarten counting.
And then you got your little cups of water and a little cookie and
a lemon tart.
A chorus in the background singing Hallelujah, praise the Lord Jesus Christ.
Those holy rollers. Yeah. Holy rollers.
They need to change. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I don't know. So my right to vote was denied. I was not able to vote.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't want to, but because I was not given the materials in my mail. Because either I was brown, they knew who I was, they knew I was a philosophy professor, or because I was registered a Democrat or a Libertarian or whatever. Anything that's not Republican in the state, of Arizona. It's a red state.
You're not even Democratic.
No, I don't. But I have to register as a Democrat in order to vote. Yeah. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Now, they're worried that this is going to happen in all states, that it's probably already happening.
Probably has happened.
Yeah. But it was worse in Arizona. Yeah. It was pretty obvious in Arizona. Good old Arizona. Good old yeehaw gun-toting Arizona. All right, let's play a game. All right, what's the game?
Cool. Who's too cool for school?
Who's too cool for school? I don't have a little jingle.
No, too cool for school.
Too cool. All right, we got to do a little jingle on our own. You ready? One.
Who's too cool for school?
Who's too cool for school? Who's too cool for school? Oh. All right. So how does this game work?
All right. So we were watching a spring training game, and while we were sitting there were people walking in front of us, various cool people that happened to be too cool for school.
Mm-hmm.
And a trendy thing that people do now is they pop their collar.
They pop their collar.
They extend the collar out on their shirts.
Extend the collar out on their shirts, okay?
Okay, that's one thing. There's another thing that people try to do is they grow out long, moppy goatees.
Okay, moppy goatees. More like moppy beards, right? Moppy
beard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to understand what might be cooler. And there's other various things that people do to be cool.
Mm-hmm. So like
another example,
the popped collar dude, he's wearing like the golf attire clothes, a polo shirt and khaki pants or shorts.
Yeah. Right. It's something that he does that I don't know helps identify his individuality. I don't know, makes him stand out, or maybe it's just a trendy thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand what there's a motivation behind him popping it, and there's motivation between for Mop Man to grow out that goatee, you know. And what is that motivation? To be for
too cool for school. Okay. So who do I think is too cool for school?
Is too cool for school?
Just overly
who's cool? Who's the coolest?
Who's the coolest
between those two?
Well, I would say that back in maybe the late 90s, popped collar guy would have won the too cool for school game.
And why do you think?
I don't know. Maybe I think popping your collar back then was really just cool to do, especially if you had a chain coming out. Like if you had an unbuttoned polo shirt and you could see a chain. Maybe
would you see like some fur or like hair?
No, hairless chest was too cool for school. And then you had your pop collar.
Hairless chest?
Yeah.
They actually shave that chest.
Shave that little strand of chest hair, pubic hair on your chest. Take it off, pull it off. Forget the shaving. Just pull it off, pluck it out. You know,
and then unbutton
the first
buttons.
Yeah, the first two buttons. Pop that damn collar. That was cool back in the 90s, I think. Maybe.
Okay. All right.
But now I don't think he would qualify. Nowadays, I see beards everywhere. Big, horrendous, nasty, smelly, cockroach-infested fucking beards. All right.
Now, what about like the bald?
With the bald head.
Head.
Okay, with the shaved head. Now, are they naturally bald or is it intentionally shaved?
We don't know. We'll never know. I don't know.
Some guys you could tell they're just bald. I think that when they're bald, they got to make up for it, and they got to grow hair on the other side of their head, right, to show off how much. But
it might be useful if you were, say, you asked your buddy, you know, hey, my floor is dirty.
Let me
need some mopping.
So let me smash your face into the ground and hold your feet,
your chin,
and mop the floor with your beard chin.
So that's where you think like all that stuff collects from mopping the floor with his chin.
Yeah, that's where it becomes unsanitary to have that beard from all that floor mopping and the dust particles.
That there's some usefulness to that. Huh?
Yeah, so I think it's cool to have a friend who's bald and bearded, and you could use them to clean your floor. Maybe spray some chemicals or vinegar or whatever, if you want to be all eco-friendly, and dip his beard into the bucket of vinegar and just...
We just lost our mop audience.
Mop audience, yeah. But the hipster beard thing, bald or not, that's too cool for school.
I think it's to be cool or to be too cool for school. There's an element of laziness. Like you're cool if you can kind of lazy or nonchalant. So what happens is these people they get tired of shaving, so they just get lazy, and then eventually the beard starts growing to a mop length. Then you might as well use it for mopping or eating. You know, if crumbs are falling out,
I just wipe your mouth with your beard.
Just wipe it on your beard.
Now we got to be clear. It's got to be thick, full, impenetrable beard, not those like strandy, nasty Asian beards.
Scraggles? Is that a Pence?
Yeah,
Pence is
Pence
more
is
of a meshy scraggle.
It's kind of mesh, but I'm talking about those like wisp beards. Like it's not even a beard, right? I mean, you got 5 strands of hair coming out of your chin.
Well, we'll have to post visuals for our listeners.
Gross.
Too cool for school, like a pop collar and a mop.
Okay, maybe I have to look for pictures. If you find pictures, send them to me. So I think mop beard wins. I don't know. Who do you think?
Okay, mop beard wins. Well, I think popping the collar is like you just washed your shirt and you forgot to fold it, so you just put it on and the collar was unfolded, so it's cool, you know. Too lazy to fold it back.
All right, so like,
and it might block from hitting my neck.
Am I what? Block your what?
Block the sun from hitting the neck.
Oh no, that's cool. It's like a shade. It's like sunglasses for your neck, right?
Shade
like that. They know the hats that you wear for those little. What do you call those visors? A visor for your neck. That's actually cool. You know what? I might actually change it to the pop collar now. Whether it was popular in the 90s or not, to block sun, especially in Arizona during spring training, pop that collar, lazily pop that collar, shade your neck.
There you go.
But again, my floor is
we'll have
dirty.
to post pictures.
Yeah. But my floor is dirty and it could use some mopping. So I need a beard and a mopping. That's supposed to be mop sound.
There's some noodles in that mop.
Noodles in the mop. And the beard, actually, from mopping the floor. There were noodles on the floor.
Just use the chin.
Alrighty, this was a stuff-packed episode. Back from the dead, resurrected like a zombie.
All right.
Except we don't eat bodies and blood. We don't drink blood and we don't eat bodies.
No.
This is a zombie-free radio station.
So we're on a different schedule now. Every 2 weeks, bi-week.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have to let our our listeners know that we are not rich enough, or we don't have enough time, like most white privileged people, to do a weekly podcast.
It's not lucrative.
Not lucrative, right? So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to produce one episode. A lot of time and a lot of work. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if part of the reason why I was suffering from an illness is because I dedicate a lot of time and energy and to just put up one episode. I should have been sleeping instead of spending hours on my computer editing and compiling a show. So we're going to need...
That's what it was.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it was. I'm sure that contributed, but we're going to do is it bi-weekly episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Internet podcast show. Or internet radio. I hate the word podcast.
Okay.
Radio show.
Internet radio.
Internet radio show. And you can follow us at ASP Stuff Radio on Twitter. Look us up on Facebook. I know there's at least one listener who's not part of the Felice family. I know you're out there.
Okay.
Or maybe not. Which is okay.
Ether.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
All right. So,
all right.
Any final thoughts or words or comments or inarticulate noises you like to say, Steve Ocrates? I like hair. I'll play that clip at the end.
You should.
Hilarious, of Ted Cruz. So this is real Ted
blasphemer.
Cruz. Blasphemer. That's real Ted Cruz.
But I want to ask about this.
Sounds like an elf.
Yeah, he does.
He kind of sounds like an elf.
Conniving, evil elf.
Or like a dwarf, or I don't know.
Seems like an elf who recently pooped his pants and he didn't want to tell anyone.
Or a Keebler elf.
A Keebler elf who pooped his pants.
They may
from eating too many of those nasty cookies.
Baked cookies.
Those are horrible cookies. I hated those cookies.
All right.
I mean, Keebler elf. I ate all those cookies and pooped my pants.
Okay.
And on that note.
This is ASP Stuff Radio.
Signing off.
We are all stuffed up.
When you speak about the Republican Party, I'm actually speaking about the Republican establishment being off the spectrum. That's an interesting phenomenon. I think somebody like Mitch McConnell is considered a Republican moderate. What was his reaction to Obama's election? It was very clear. He said we have to have one policy. No. Anything that the government proposes, we say no. Then we block it because we want to take power. That's not parliamentary policy. And in fact, this is recognized. Some of the most respected conservative political analysts.
I'd like to stick garden gnomes in this building.
Yeah, I guess you would.
Oh, hi. Death will find you soon. Not sure you'll be remembered. You're the devil. A little boy has like 1,000 freckles, and everybody's all ooh, like there's goobers on his bod. I'm done listening.
You know, Ted's always kind of freaky. He eats hair, human hair. He's the first one to say, let's go out and eat hair.
It's wonderful now and again.
See?
Hair. If there's one thing our country doesn't need more of, it's goose diarrhea. I heard you got orange rugs here.
That's a lie.
Hey, could you cut me a rug here?
A rug?
Yeah, an orange one.
No, we don't make them.
I know. This one's a classic. Jordan the Centipede taught me a card trick. Thank you. You got happy cheer. Ooh, look. I went down to the summer camp and took a can of gasoline.
Don't light the cabins on fire.
I wish I couldn't, but it's too late.
Oh, doesn't that mean you go to jail?
No, because I ran away. You know what? I just love to twerk. Holla, 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 holla. I've been testing out some new campaign slogans that are a little less obvious. I need a bogle for the glotch. Stop Volution. Your face isn't my face. And that old man just took your spork. If you want boyfriend time, then you must be a girlfriend. I hate pervy records. I want to use that. I made a hole and then barfed on the beach. I made a hole and then barfed on the beach. I made a hole and then barfed on the beach. This great nation's like a pork pie. Juicy America. Gabe? Hey, who hates cigarettes?
I do.
Hooray for you. You know, originally Heidi wanted to marry a different fella. She wanted Herbert Spinecki.
Yeah, he was into football. Herbert was beautiful. I mean, he was just always very open and sensuous with me, you know? Like on the weekend, he'd bring fruit and lay by the fire with me and tell me I looked like a French model.
What? Why did you even tell them that?
Yeah, he's still a really close friend, the Spinecki.
I didn't know that.
He's in the kitchen right now.
Wait, he's here? Is he? What does this mean? Yeah, whatever. At least I know she's mine. I don't want to ask who the baby daddy.
Sucking in soot.